What's going on, guys? Julian Sisman here again from Prepare for Performance. Today I want to talk about nutrition at PFP. These, I personally think, are the 5 staples that a lot of our members be super successful with their goals and also with improving their health. So for me, there could be more than 5, but when it comes to nutrition, I think these 5 are probably the most important. And you could say that there could be one more, because fiber could be very similar to like carbs, and so you could take carbs or fiber, and then maybe you can add fats in there, because you still need fats in your diet, but you don't want it too much, and you want to focus mostly on like unsaturated fats, avocados, walnuts, olive oil, stuff like that. But just to kind of start off, I think the most important thing is when it comes to having real good success with really anything in life is planning. When it comes to like weight training and resistance training, a plan is what's going to get you from A to B. And that's what I think is why it's really important for a lot of people, is to have a plan. And when they go to the gym aimlessly just working out, without no plan, they tend to be unsuccessful and tend to quit. So for me, planning, preparing, so that could be, at home, you are cutting up vegetables, getting out meats, all that kind of stuff for what you're cooking. Obviously cooking, sometimes people can't cook or they meal prep for the week and schedule changes. So I think another thing that people need to grasp is when they go out, people tend to overeat when they go out. Something I learned years ago is when you go out, or when you know you're gonna have to go out, you should plan and prepare by looking at the menu of the restaurant you're going to see if there's something that is kind of in line with how you've been eating. So I typically will go straight for something that is like more high in protein, like maybe more vegetables, less carbs, just because maybe if I'm not working out that day or have a low intensity day and just need some fuel, I will do that. People end up doing is they just go, grab a beer, they grab this, they grab an appetizer, they get all this carb stuff, and they feel like absolute shit later because they just ate so much food, can't go to sleep, have bad sleep, and then the next day becomes a never-ending day of eating because you didn't sleep well and it's not fun. So that's when it comes to planning, preparing, and cooking. Obviously cooking, meal prepping, or it could be like you order meals and you get it on a consistent basis where it's every Sunday or something, and that's something I do. It's become super easy for me to get calories in because I just order food for the week and in a certain amount of calories, make sure it's high in protein, getting vegetables, getting carbs, and all that kind of stuff. When it comes to calories, again, for me, I can go on a rabbit hole. I can go down a long story about how to track for calories. Tracking to me is one of the most important things. So that if that's using an app, if that's taking pictures of food, if that's using smaller plates, if that's getting meal prepped for you and you purchase it, because those tend to typically have calorie specific meal plans. So it's easy for you to say, okay, I'm eating X amount of calories. But what's important about calories to me is knowing how many calories you need based on your activity level, what are your goals, all that kind of stuff. So I think going along with calories, you got to understand like what's your metabolism. As I mentioned before, your activity level. If you're having a high protein diet, you're gonna have a little bit of more thermo effect of food, which is like your body burning to break down that food. Again, it's not a ton of calories, but it has to be, accounted for. You have NEAT, so if individuals that are like fidgety and like can't sit still, they tend to burn more calories because those are called non-exercise related calories. And typically, some people can burn a ton because they're just like moving around, tapping their foot, doing this, doing that. So that accounts. So we do that we calculate your in-body, we can get an idea of like your activity level throughout the day, kind of give you an idea of like where you need to be based on your goals, if it's a calorie deficit or if it's a calorie surplus and you're trying to put on weight or whatever. Protein, I think it's probably one of the most important things because it's gonna help you build muscle, it's gonna help you eat less food because you're going to be more satisfied. It is one of the macronutrients that a lot of people don't eat enough of, and hate to call them out, but a lot of women don't eat enough protein. and barely get like 100 grams. And then they wonder why they are so hungry all the time. So I personally think 0.8 to 1 gram per body weight. So if you're 100 pounds, 100 grams of protein or close to it. I don't think anybody should eat less than 100 grams. I know the RDA says 80, 100 grams is, to me, is probably bare minimum. This is based on research that I have personally done. Fiber, you hear a lot of people talk about fiber is not good. I think bare minimum 30 grams. I think it's like 25 for women, 30 for men. I think anywhere between like 30, like 50 grams a day for both is probably good. There's been a lot of research about like fiber with like, obviously it's gonna help you be more satisfied because you tend to, when you eat fibrous foods, they tend to fill you up and just kind of like protein. And then water and hydration. Again, this is important because a lot of people are dehydrated or don't drink enough water. And when you are dehydrated and don't drink enough water, you tend to eat more food. This can help you, again, be a little bit more full, but also hydration is important. There's a lot of things that it helps with throughout the day, keeps you regular, you know, it's important for actually injury. So like if kids don't drink enough water or are not hydrated, there's a study that talks about how like hydration increases injury because hydration plays a role in like the body's ability to your muscles to function. So if you're not drinking enough water, your muscles aren't gonna function properly and higher incidence of injury. So again, this is the bare minimum basic information. We do have a guide if you want. I can send it to you. Click the link below to download it. It's like literally like pages on like how much you should be eating. Like I think there's like either a 4-week or 6-week like plan to help you. So it's super impactful, super informational, and can help you get results today. So if you want more information, just click the link below for a guide or DM me guide and I'll send you the guide. Peace. Hope you guys have a great day.